Liverpool looked dead and buried in the Premier League top 4 race just a few weeks ago. Yet with 6 straight matches without a defeat and 4 consecutive wins, the Reds have given themselves a fighting chance in the race to qualify for next season's Champions League. Yes, the chances of Liverpool qualifying for the Champions League are still slim. According to sports stats website 538, Liverpool have just a 9% chance of qualifying for next season's Champions League. Now, meanwhile, Newcastle are at 95% and Manchester United are at 91%. Brighton, who have an even slimmer chance than Liverpool, they have a 4% chance of finishing in the top 4. So, based on the stats, are Liverpool really out of the race for the Champions League qualification? Now, the Reds go into Wednesday's fixture with Fulham at Anfield, which isn't on TV in the UK, mind you, with 65 points from 33 matches. Liverpool are 9 points off Newcastle and 7 points off Manchester United in the race for the top 4. United have a game in hand over the Reds, giving them a slight edge in the race for that final Champions League qualification position. And there are still 15 points to play for this season for Liverpool. Now that means Liverpool must win their last 5 fixtures in the Premier League to really have a chance of qualifying for the Champions League for next season. It's going to be a very difficult run-in for the Reds, as Newcastle and Manchester United are both in good form right now. Now, can it be done? That's the big question that a lot of Liverpool fans are asking. And even just a few weeks ago, there were some pundits saying that Liverpool could overhaul this lead that United and Newcastle have. Now, it can be done. It really can be done, because back in 2020-2021, Liverpool were unbeaten in their final 10 matches of the Premier League season. Liverpool won 8 and drew 2 matches in those final 10 games and qualified for the Champions League that season. And fans may remember that dramatic header from Alisson in the 95th minute of the game against West Brom Albion at the Hawthorns, in which Liverpool were able to win 2-1 and keep those Champions League hopes alive. The Reds then went on to defeat Burnley and Crystal Palace in their final 2 matches of that campaign. Now, it's funny that remembering that season, looking back on that season, you would think that that West Brom game was the final game of the season, yet it wasn't. It was the third to last game of the season. It just stays fresh in the mind about how amazing that finish was for Liverpool. Now, the problem for Liverpool this season is the Premier League is far more competitive now than it was just a few seasons ago, and that's going to make the task very hard for Liverpool. Now, Liverpool are on a 6-match unbeaten run currently, and winning their final 5 matches would make that ultimately an 11-match unbeaten streak. It can be done. Of course it can, but it will be difficult. Now, even then, it may not be enough to finish in the top 4 because, again, like I said before, Newcastle and Man United are playing so well right now and are in form going into this final stretch of the campaign. And again, United do have an extra game in hand. They will play 6 games to Liverpool's 5 as we get down to the end of the campaign. Now, Liverpool's final 5 fixtures are winnable, although the team will need to prevent falling into that same complacency that we saw on Sunday against Tottenham at Anfield, in which Liverpool conceded 3 goals after going up 3-0 to go into that final few minutes of the game level at 3 and needing that Diogo Jota goal to win 4-3. It was a crazy game, but it just showed those two sides of Liverpool being fantastic at one moment and then absolutely dreadful at the next. So the Reds will finish the campaign with a home game against Fulham, a home game against Brentford, away to Leicester City, home against Aston Villa, and away on the final day of the season against Southampton. Now, all 5 of those games are very winnable, and I would say right now the only team that would really trouble Liverpool of those 5 clubs are Aston Villa. Now, Newcastle's final 5 matches this season are against Arsenal at home, Leeds United away, Brighton at home, Leicester City at home, and Chelsea away. That's a very winnable fixture list for Newcastle, as well as Arsenal may be the most difficult of those teams, but Brighton, again, they are in form as well. But it is difficult for me to see Newcastle really dropping too many points in those final 5 games. I would say that Liverpool and Newcastle have a very similar end of the season run in fixtures in terms of difficulty. Now, looking at Manchester United, the Red Devils, like I said before, have 6 games left to play this season, but they will also play the FA Cup final against Manchester City. Perhaps Liverpool could get a bit lucky and United would be looking forward to that game and maybe make a misstep or 2 along the way. But United do have a fixture list that is also very winnable. They will play Brighton away and West Ham away. Now, those are 2 very difficult games against 2 teams that have something to play for. Brighton are playing for a European qualification berth, while West Ham are trying to avoid the drop. Now, they will then go to Wolverhampton, play Bournemouth, who are also trying to avoid the drop, play an awful Chelsea team at home, and then finish the season with Fulham. Now, those last 2, 3, 4 games are very winnable for United, while they could get a challenge from Brighton and West Ham in those games, especially playing on the road. Now, comparing the top 3 teams, I would say of those 3 teams, Manchester United do have the most difficult fixture list left this season. Now, that is difficulty on paper. If both Newcastle and United can drop points in their upcoming fixtures and Liverpool defeat Fulham on Wednesday, well, the pressure will increase on those 2 teams. And that's all Liverpool can do, is just turn up the pressure on Newcastle and Manchester United at the moment. Liverpool and United will both play in midweek in big fixtures. Again, Liverpool at home against Fulham, United away against Brighton. A game that United could drop points in. Now, Liverpool are only 7 points behind United at the moment. Now, Newcastle will have to wait until Sunday to play against Arsenal in a big showdown at St. James's Park. A game that Newcastle can win, but Arsenal should be motivated because they are still in the title race, even though they look likely to lose out to Manchester City. They are still in the title race and need to win and stay in the race for the Premier League title. So can Liverpool finish in the Premier League top 4? Well, never say never in football. It will be difficult for the team to end the season in the top 4, however. But first and foremost, Liverpool must defeat Fulham on Wednesday night. A win would add pressure to both Newcastle and Manchester United, as I said before, and as long as the Reds keep winning, they can keep that pressure on both Newcastle and Manchester United. And that's all they can do going down into these final games after slipping up earlier in the season. Now, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And if you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on everything I post here on Liverpool Reds FC blog. And you can also share the video on social media. And please comment below. Let me know what you think of Liverpool's chances of finishing in the top 4 are. Now, be sure to check out the Liverpool Reds FC blog website to read up on my latest views and analysis of Liverpool Football Club. And I'll see you guys here again next time on Liverpool Reds FC blog on YouTube.